Good evening, everybody that's starting to watch this and who join us later on for this highly anticipated battle between the Infantry A and the Royal Engineers in the Lions League. Best of 5. Best of 5, although we might not go to 5, but anyway, the map choices tonight are Hardpoint, which is Azir's Cave, which is a AR's Dream, and then you've also got Ramaza S&D, which is fast-paced, Hackney Domination, also fast-paced and close battles, Map 4, which is Hackney again, so spending a long time in London for the Hardpoint, and Map 5, if it goes to Map 5, it's an S&D on Gunrunner. So quickly loading in to Azir's Cave, so it's advantageous that you need to have decent spawns on this, as if you don't have good spawns, it can get very out of control quickly. So expect to see initially everyone run to the point, but mainly people on the outskirts looking for spawns. So going on with Kieran at the minute, and Kieran's flanking around to the bottom half of the, if you see the little display, bottom half of the map, try and find the first pick to try and flip the spawns. There's a battle going on the hard point. CT goes through smoke, takes down Fluff, and then knows someone else is there as it's contested, and then unfortunately gets picked by Gibbo, who's in yellow. So they already know now, the infantry already know that delivers the spawn to where CT is spawned. Aaron getting slayed on the point, but someone's always there to try and trade out. Then Fluff in yellow Overwatch, trying to limit the infantry with as much time as this first 60 seconds. It looks like the engineers have given up trying to contest for P1 spawns and moving to P2. So Kieran with the job of looking at P5 and the underpass, just making sure no one comes through, no one gets support. Now Kieran's waiting, and CT with a great play there, just waiting for Kieran to be distracted by another player, and then jumps on in. Unfortunately, wastes too much time there, as a few new guns with the update that just happened at the yesterday. So the AN94, people using the AN94, the M4, MP5, the AUG. I've seen Fluff use the AUG, so looking great as P2 is highly contested, with the engineers already looking for further P3. So as we go with 13 seconds before the new one popped, Exiled Ghost, as you can see on screen, just making sure that no one's flanking around, trying to link the two hard points together, as Gibbo is doing just that, just making sure, going all the way around, trying to influence them spawns for P4, which is the next one, which is KV. So now getting into the header, take down the guy on point, back to the and then gets absolutely slayed by AJ. So back on the Gibbo, and then flashpoint in the heady there, just making sure, keeping the engineers distracted as his teams hopefully test point and then jump in. So now Fluff, who's obviously the engineer point man with the AUG, unfortunately gets taken down by Ghost, and Gibbo is there to trade out, and then someone's there, Keeney is there to trade out for Gibbo. Engineers up 90-45 in the first rotation round, so a lead of about 40 points for 3, with Gibbo going around, just make sure, trying to find the players, because they know where they spawn. You definitely know where the other people are spawning as well. Know that Aaron on the point laying down, just trying to keep as little presence as possible. start to get, and now that everyone's for the infantry is at the back spawn trying to get in, engineers are spawning close. Great two-piece there by Gibbo with the M4, which is trusty and it has not changed much to the meta, although some people use Galils and the Rams. However, M4 never's done Gibbo any wrong. So engineers now let the point set up for P5, just opening that lead that was into probably 50, 60, maybe 70 points by the time it ended the P5 hills, as Gibbo takes down those players that are on underpass. As it's very quiet on point for the engineer players, as the slayers are doing their great job of keeping everything out. However, the infantry are winning some gunfights. As you can see, the kill feed isn't all blue, and just have to get a little opening, maybe on the second rotation, just to whittle this lead that the engineers are starting to slowly accrue. I hope everyone's been keeping safe and playing COD over lockdown. Keeney initially getting presence in the top of the yellow building, which is vital from P5 spawns. The engineers want to try and dominate that yellow building before making a move to try and get inside the hard point. So as we look on with Kieran at the minute, and then straight on with Mac just making sure that no one for the infantry slowly starts to go through for spawns for P2. As CT takes down Mac, also takes down Kieran, who's on the point, also takes down Fluff, and then gets unfortunately killed by Mac goes to try and get as much time, and then with the lead 70 points, and then be back to 60 after this hill, as the engineers set up for P2. So XR Ghost running the MP5, with the new meta change, with ARs and ARs being buffed, and the MP5 severely being buffed with the maps like Cave, Gunrunner, Piccadilly. They're now AR heavy, and then the MP5 is mainly because it's going to be in all the close range battles, with the engineers now being trapped in the back spawns. If the infantry is trapped in the back spawns, they'll be able to get a lot of time on P3, which is school. As Exile goes now going towards a point, and as Gibbo slowly stays there, and then Gibbo does a hop, skip and a jump, and then comes away with the kill. So the engineers 20 points away from winning that one, and there's best of 5. It looks like the infantry now just have to try and flood the point, try and get the engineers know that, so are pushing out, trying to make sure that the infantry go nowhere near the point. With 2 seconds to go, with the contest coming in with 3 seconds of the hillside. Unfortunately, that, unless the infantry could pull off something spectacular, I think it's going to be map 1 to the engineers. There it is, map 1 to the engineers of this best of 5. So Search and Destroy next, which is on Ramalza, which is a fast-paced map, especially with the B plant, and then the A plant, which is harder to get to, but in my opinion easier to defend. So as we look, the KDs with Kieran topping the Kieran and Gibbo topping the engineers, and then CT and Exiled Ghost and Flashpoint all trying to keep on top of the kills that the engineers had there. So as you've seen, the engineers they dominated P2. Didn't go towards try and get as much time on P1. They concentrated. They spawned on the bad side. They turned around and decided that try and win spawns for P2 is better than trying to win as much time, as the time is heavily contested in P1, as you saw. But then the rotations from the engineers was on point every time, about 10, 15, 20 seconds sometimes. The rotation seemed to go in to get the person ready for the next hill. The infantry just relied on the gunfights, tried to break the hills, but unfortunately they didn't break them too many times as a score. However, what normally happens is a team that has a good hardpoint map, the team that unfortunately doesn't win it, the first one, then comes back and absolutely plays blind out for the search and destroy. So look for the infantry to go a lot of trades here, a lot of good decisions, and then we'll see if the engineers can carry on their winning ways with map 1 and bring it into map 2. So like I was saying about Search and Destroy Remaza, it's fast paced to be. So when you go through B, there's the archers, which is a heavy area. So if you can get domination of that and then top gun shop, then the B site's open. However, with the B site, you also got CAF, top CAF, the people on the flank coming round. And then that truck that you see in the picture there, if you can mount that, you've pretty much got domination of that site, and it's hard to get you off that. A in my opinion is a lot easier to defend, as there's not as much angles that you have to watch for the diffusers to come. But let's see who's on offense first, who's on defense, and then let's see what decision it is. So it looks like the engineers are on offense first. So it looks initially like a B push. So as you can see on the minimap, the infantry spreading out, 2 watching A, 2 watching B, and then 1 watching mid-map for the cross. As we look at Exile Ghost, just unfortunately peaked with Fluff. And then Keeney, obviously Exiled Ghost told Keeney where he was, as Mac now goes top gun shop overwatching the B site. He's already known someone was there, he heard it, as he now and got a little bit, potentially a little bit over-egoed, tried to execute him, got the kill initially but then got traded out. So now that the bomb's down, and it's a 2-on-2. Look for the retake from the engineers, and obviously the call's gone out that the bit bomb's gone down, with PB taking down Kieran. So Gibbo last alive for the engineers with Exiled Ghost and PB. 20 seconds going on. Gibbo seeing Exiled Ghost. The information's gone out. So although Gibbo got that pick, doesn't have enough time to plant the bomb, get the bomb on it, so has to go for the kill, and unfortunately PB was in the stronger position overwatching and won round 1. So a strong start from the infantry. I like that the trades went in, so whenever an engineer killed an infantry there was always someone to cover him and take the engineer down. So now let's see what the infantry can do on offense, and let's see what the engineers can do and pull it back to 1-1 on defense. So heavy mid-map presence from the engineers. Gibbo going straight into bottom rug, trying to watch to see that if they're coming fast to A. Just trying to hear using the headsets that the guys own. Even a smallish footstep. Unfortunately, that wasn't the best grenade, so has to back up. And Kieran with the knife on flashpoint, obviously probably through the smoke. With Kieran now in the power position on top of the truck, taking down 4. So Kieran's probably single-handedly now wanting the ace from Keeney. So unfortunately Keeney takes him down, but I think with the swarm of 1 versus 3, I think this is going to bring it back to 1-1. See, Keeney knew someone was going to come around the flank, but unfortunately COD timing does us all. Trying to see if anyone's on top gunshot, and then Aaron coming round and finishing the infantry off. So 1-1, both wins on defense. So no one's yet to plant a bomb. So let's see if the engineers can do it on this offensive round. With 2 people, Aaron and Gibbo going flying through top rugs, with Kieran going through arches with the smoke to try and cover the tracks, knowing someone's in top gunshot with that grenade, so backing up, slowing the play down, checking all the corners before he goes out and tries to take command of the B site. Just throwing all utilities just to try and get this little bit of information, as the offense and defense have decided that it's slow play, with PB getting the first pick on Aaron. So infantry with the man advantage already, and then gets traded out by Gibbo. So, and then Mac taking out Keeney that's on site. So now Mac through, Kieran seeing the person in the sniper spot, throwing the smoke and just waiting for him to come through. Kieran just making sure, double checking all the avenues, and then first offensive round win, and it goes towards the engineers. So let's see if the infantry can bring it back, bring it back to 2-2, and then hopefully maybe a game 11 on map 2. So let's see if the engineers do the same on defense, with dominating the mid-map presence, while a couple of people go to B, and then it also looks like it's going to be a P push by the infantry, with 3 of the players going through archways, trying just to command the site. Smoke goes out, so utilities known, chucking a grenade just to try and back the infantry up. Kieran getting his usual position on top of the truck, as Keeney now goes through bottom calf, as he look likely to try and wrap round to A. So it's 4-on-4 with dead silence being popped, trying to negate the headsets that everyone's wearing that hear the feet. Slowly comes up to the door to peek the door instead of banging it open. Gibbo there, hearing that the door was being slightly peeked open, takes down Keeney and then backs up just to save playing his life, just making sure that no one can trade it out, as the 4-on-2 advantage from the engineers. CT unlucky, not seeing Gibbo there, with now and Gibbo takes it with the long range with the MP5. So obviously with the new rules and new meta changes, obviously the Merc foregrip now being banned, and now officially you can't use it in CDL, which is great news. With new weapon systems, the ISO and the AN94 potentially becoming the new weapon before the end of the season, as now CT brings out the sniper, and let's see if we can take some heads off with the sniper. Unfortunate there with the shot on Fluff. Fluff gets away, knows that the sniper there now, and just retreating back to get a different position, as he doesn't want to become playing the next round. So Gibbo getting taken down first blood. So the infantry losing 3-1, but now with a 5-on-4 advantage. Hopefully with Kieran now trying to find a way to plant for the engineers. As Mac takes away flashpoint. Kieran knowing that someone's going to be in that spot, because that's where he would be, taking the player down, now planting the bomb, as this is going to be the first plant in round 5 of Ramaza. So 4-1, CT unfortunately has the job of getting away from A site and making it to B, but unfortunately couldn't do that with making sound, and Mac here where he is. So the infantry down 4-1, as the engineers have to win 2 rounds, and then hopefully, I'm hoping the infantry can bring it back to make it more exciting, as if it's not exciting enough with all the high rate kills. Infantry looking to go through centre of map to dominate bottom cap, and then engineers split out as they would as well. CT with the first blood on Mac, so got the numerical advantage. Now has to play it smart, with Aaron just seeing the cross of a player there. Exile goes taking down Fluff, and now dominating the top of Gunshot. Kieran getting taken down, so infantry playing a better round 6. Get the bomb going down, 4-on-2 advantage, Smoke covering his escape, and that'll be very hard for the engineers to bring this back. 2-on-1 advantage after some quick kills. Gibbo now having to make his way across, checking all the corners. That door sound probably alerted him to where his position were, as Exiled goes on the site, knowing that it's now impossible to defuse it, so playing his life, just waiting for the bomb to go off, and then brings it back to 4-2. Kieran grabbing bomb on this round 7, running straight through arches. Heavy B presence from the infantry, trying to overpower them, with Kieran getting the first pick. But engineers get traded out. Keeney with taking Kieran, but then also know that someone's there now, so has to play it smart. Smoke goes out, dead silence is popped for the sneaky player of the infantry. It's seen by Mac to take it down. Aaron takes down Keeney, and then it's a 4-on-2 advantage for the engineers, who've controlled B site. Bomb going down. Exile Ghost now stuck on the bottom floor, now knowing that Mac's upstairs as he is on fight, throwing the smoke to distract, knowing that Aaron's also there. Tried to get out, but the player covering the bomb from Archers, Fluff, seen him, told Aaron where it was, and that's now 5-2. So match point coming up for the Engineers on defense, and then obviously Infantry to bring it back to winning on the third match. As you can see, all the players of the Engineers got dead silence, and all of the Infantry have also got dead silence. Now it looks like an A from the Infantry, with Gibbo getting a grenade, Fluff getting a team kill on Kieran, so that brings it back to numerical square, with a slow push from A from the Infantry. Gibbo being below point, knowing that smoke's not any of his teammates, so he's now communicating with the rest of the team that it looks like the Infantry are top rug. Getting killed by PB, and then that opens up the site, A site. So it's now a 3-2 advantage to the Engineers, but Infantry looking to plant the bomb. PB with the dead silence. Only 24 seconds left, with one-on-one between him and Fluff. Just put a message that I'm back. So as you've seen there, unlucky for the infantry there, losing that last one-on-one, and then obviously the defuse coming in. But some great plays from the infantry trading out. Unfortunately, the engineers getting into the power positions, being hard to take off them power positions, like the truck on site B. But now we're going into a domination. So the desirable for domination on Hackney Yard is A-B setup. So whoever spawns A-B first is on the good side, and C-B is obviously on the bad side, with the bad side looking to flip, hopefully get A site locked down sooner rather than later, as if you get A site, it's very quick and easy to get to the B flag, and it's easily defendable that side, with you only having to look from top L, bottom L, and the mid cross. However, with the C site, you've got a lot more to look at, and the speed of spawns will determine how long you keep the B flag. So loading into that beautiful London skyline, with the engineers getting the strong side first, and the infantry getting the weak side. Just a mad rush to try and capture the B flag. No one's got trophies yet, so I expect to see loads of nails, loads of flashes, loads of stuns for this. The infantry get top. Trade out the kills, and the infantry looking now to neutralise the B flag, as Kieran dominating the central line, getting taken down, with now the numerical advantage for the infantry. Smokes go down to cover the neutralise gone in. Now looking to capture, single man capture, which is great from Flashpoint, with his team the players. Gibbo using the ram, so a fast-paced AR. Knowing likely someone's going to be in the P1 hardpoint map on this map. If we see next map, if the infantry win, which I hope they do. I'm sure you do as well, living pod. With the engineers now taking C, neutralised it, and now taking it. So the 2-on-1 advantage back to the engineers, looking like they'll need to change soon. With Mac, it seems, the spawns are flipped, so engineers now knowing that the spawns are flipped, take the B flag and try to go for the trip cap. Keeney, the lone infantry, and the spawns are flipped again. Formation, you can expect some crazy spawns. You might expect people to spawn behind you randomly, so especially on Hackney, as it's such a small map for domination, such a small map for hardpoint as well. Keeney trying to get top L, but then gets beamed off by Aaron. Top 8 there, throwing the Semtex, trying to clear that well, with Flashpoint retreating now. Some trades there, unfortunately. Gibbo getting the better of CT and Flashpoint, now dominating top L. So engineers looking to shut this one out, and the infantry trying to bring it back to a 2-1, but with the engineers controlling, no sight, no flags in the control. so no points going their way, and the engineers opening up 3 minutes, opening up near enough a 17-point lead, which will slowly get bigger, as you would expect for someone to start on the site. It's a site. Bring it back in the second half. Give her now controlling so trying to get control of top L, but getting taken down with great grenade there from Matt, taking down the weak Kenny. Fluff on top of AC, taking down the person on top L. Gibbo obviously is the man to control the home flag. Gets taken down, unfortunately, 2-on-1. So the infantry neutralised A, getting the strong. So now have a base with the strong. With a minute left to go, to try and bring this gap closer. So as you can see, flashpoint straight on the B flag. It spawns out. They've got further to go. Engineers, someone snuck through to A flag, so they neutralised that and captured that. So the engineers back to having the 2 flag set up. Kieran trying the wall bang, unfortunately mounted, taken down by Kenny. Kenny also going bottom L, taking down Aaron. CT taking down Gibbo. So that shows that all sites are now empty, with the infantry now got for the last 15 seconds. So of the clock, so bringing it probably to 84 to 66. So still a very great. Although engineers won that half, the infantry bringing it back to an 18-point advantage. Now spawning on the strong side. You expect them to get their AB set up pretty quick, and then if they keep that, they'll be in the lead within no time. Let's see what the engineers do with regards to they all try and flood the B site, or just try and go across through centre to A. It looks like everyone's trying to flood the B site, trying to control. But now, second half, everyone's got trophy systems. It'll be a bit hard to use your utility. Although controlling top AC is great for the engineers. No one tapping the B site yet. Now that the infantry have got the B site, slowly whittle that lead down, and with the setup that the infantry have got, with 3 in the B site, 2 controlling mid-map presence, and I expect that it'll be hard. But it all starts with winning your gunfights. Now Gibbo top AC, giving the connection. Flashpoint unfortunately running out of rounds there. Unfortunately just ran into the barrel of Aaron there as he was shooting Exile Ghost. But now engineers getting the 2 flag set up, bringing that lead back. Infantry now neutralising and potentially capping. However, that'll bring back one of the engineers as they are spawning P3. So great neutralise and great kill there on Fluff. So just make sure that the the nearest engineer is now taking. Now Aaron now needs to watch great skill there. Jump, control the heaven. And now control top. Full control of the B site. Each flag, if you control one flag, you get 6 points a minute. So obviously 12 points is 2 cap. So if the with more than 24 points at the 2-minute mark. We either have to look at 2 flags in neutral or a trip cap to salvage this map and bring it to a game 4. Kieran now taking control of barrels, so it's very hard for the player bottom L to try and kill them. Trying to get some credits on A. Smoke to get round. With the infantry on the A side or looking to get control of the A side. Great winning gunfights with Kieran. So and again with the headset, hearing the player come through. Now the engineers got a trip cap, and they hold this for 20 seconds, and then be out of sight for the infantry and the engineers. This tie 3-0, and then stats of everyone. With the infantry taking down Kieran on the A side, bringing it back to 2 flag setup, but the engineers probably know that they can 1 flag for the remaining time, and that's them getting the victory on Magneto. I like what the infantry are doing. The infantry are going around in 2s and 3s. If the player goes down, there's always there for a trade, but unfortunately going around in 2s and 3s, if someone wins their gunfight, as A and C are now changing hands for what seems like the 8th, 9th time of this map. It's constant flipping the spawns, making his presence known. No one unfortunately losing that good gunfight to Exiled Ghost, but the engineers now got the AB set up. Oh no, the infantry take out the first cap and B. With the engineers looking to win this one, 1 points. So not a total domination by the engineers, by no means. Infantry unlucky with some of the gunfights. As you look at this play of the game, take down the 3rd that's capturing A, jumping on, knowing that the player was coming around to get the quad. Yeah. So the series finished 3-0 to the engineers, but that wasn't, if you just see that scoreline, it wasn't the domination that you would expect. So the hard point, the engineers did get the advantage, but the S&D was just unlucky at times for the infantry. But with the engineers getting all 3 maps, that's us there tonight, and looking forward to seeing you in the future.